You are about to witness one of the greatest romances in cinematic history. A couple of suits who thought they defined the world order, but the story of how they met is even more fascinating. On one side of the world was a genius dropout with an IQ of over 160 who struggled to make ends meet. All he ever did was try to get his shit together, but no matter how much he tried, he was miles from his potential. And on the other was the finest lawyer New York had ever seen. He was confident and controlled. All he ever did was bend people to his will. That was Harvey, who was just named the newest senior partner at Pearson. Two men, worlds apart, but fate was about to put them in the same story. Every senior partner gets an associate, but Harvey wanted none. He worked best alone, and he did not want to change that. But the managing partner of the firm made it clear this was a requirement. Harvey indulged against his will. The interviews were set up by Donna, his secretary, who knew Harvey more than he knew himself. Harvey told her what he wanted. "I'm looking for another me," and Donna completely understood. Mike was still figuring out his life. He didn't really have anything to fight for, except his grandmother, who took him in when his parents died, and she was in trouble. The nursing home needed $25,000 for her upkeep. Without it, she was going to be deported, and Mike knew exactly how to get it. He called his friend Trevor, who set up a meeting in a fancy hotel for a drug trade. But what Trevor didn't know was the meetup was a setup, and he couldn't warn Mike because he was held hostage. Mike was well groomed, ready for the exchange. With his eidetic memory, he was careful, scouring every inch of information at the hotel. He arrived at the corridor leading to the room of the exchange and saw two men, one doorman and a man in a suit who seemed displaced. He asked the doorman about the swimming facilities, to which he replied he could go for a swim anytime, but Mike remembered that the pool was closed. He followed that with another question to the man in suit, inquiring what time it was, long enough to see he had a gun on his waist. He ran for his life as the doorman went after him. With nowhere else to go, he stumbled upon Harvey's interview session. Donna thought he had balls when he said he was just trying to ditch the cops, and she gave Harvey the wink. He was definitely another him. But before the meeting started, his briefcase burst open. Harvey was intrigued. He wanted to know how Mike knew they were the cops, and he told him how he read a novel in elementary school with a similar setup. As much as Harvey was in disbelief, he followed that up with another question. Why ask what the time was? And Mike said, "Who asks what the time is when you got a briefcase full of pot, right?" Harvey was ready to give him the job and the $25,000 as a signing bonus, and Mike was ready to take it. But Harvey had to let him know they only hired from Harvard, and not only had Mike not gone to Harvard, he hadn't gone to any law school. Mike was desperate. He wanted to impress. He asked Harvey to open a legal handbook on his desk, and he was able to say, verbatim, everything that was in the passage Harvey read. Harvey was up for the challenge. He wanted to show Mike what an attorney that went to Harvard can do, but Mike defeated him, playing hard. As fascinated as Harvey was by this meeting, he had to leave. He told Mike he'll get rid of the cops, but as he went out to look at the competition, he realized, this guy is exactly what I need. He asked Mike, if you want this job so much, why don't you go to law school? But Mike told him about how he cheated for money and lost his scholarship. Harvey was really considering this fraudster. He told him, this is not elementary school. This is hard work, long hours. But Mike vouched for himself. If you give me this job, I'll be the best goddamn lawyer you've ever seen. Harvey had tested his intelligence. Now he wanted to test his cockiness. He said, I'm inclined to give you a shot, but what if I decide to go another way? And Mike's response landed him the job. You know, I like to hang out with people who aren't that bright, just to see how the other half lives. Harvey was pleased. He informed the firm that he just found his newest associate. Harvey told him to clean himself up and never talk to Trevor again. As Mike was good at reading books, Harvey was good at reading people. Mike cleaned himself up and joined the law firm, but his past kept hounding him. Trevor wanted the case back, but Mike was keeping it as a safe bet in case this lawyering thing doesn't work out. Mike and Harvey had their first case, and when things got rough, Mike packed his things and was ready to give up. Harvey followed him. He said, "Maybe you are not as smart as you think you are." He somehow got the job, but was ready to bolt at the least resistance. In his frustration, he went to talk to the one person who could convince him otherwise. Granny told him the only way he was leaving that job is if they threw him out, and Mike listened. He gave Trevor back his case, full of pot, in exchange for 12 fancy suits, and showed up to work, ready to go. From there, this duo never looked back, solving some of the most iconic cases in legal drama. Moral of the story: college is the way to go.